Good morning. We are bringing you breaking news in the manhunt for 57-year-old Vance Belter. He's the man suspected of shooting two Minnesota lawmakers, killing one of them and her husband. Right now, there's a large police presence on Highway 25 in Sibley County, where our crew on the ground says they believe authorities have found the cowboy hat the suspect was last seen wearing. Belter has not been arrested, but we are working to learn more about his wife potentially getting detained in the Onamia area. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But as for that scene where authorities say they found Belter's hat, here's a map showing where that is. It's on Highway 25, about halfway between Green Isle and Belle Plaine. Green Isle is where the 57-year-old suspect reportedly owns a home. Joe McCoy is live at this new scene developing right now. Joe, what can you tell us about what you're seeing out there?
Well, Raya, truly a stunning development in the manhunt for 57-year-old Vance Belter. We are on Highway 25 in between Green Isle and Belle Plaine, and I want to get right to this video that we shot on scene here. What you see on the side of the highway is the cowboy hat that a 57-year-old Vance Belter was allegedly caught wearing yesterday on security camera in Minneapolis. You then see that vehicle. That is a black car that was just alongside Highway 25 here that State Patrol is calling a vehicle of interest. Now, State Patrol did confirm Vance Belter was not in that vehicle. No one was in that vehicle when they came upon it. There also was a large police presence on a property just nearby that vehicle. We do not know what that was for. Right now, I want to make it very clear. Police still, to our knowledge, do not know where 57-year-old Vance Belter is. They are still searching for him. They do not know if potentially he is in this area, where that cowboy hat was located, where that vehicle of interest was located. But truly an incredible scene, Raya, that cowboy hat just sitting there on the side of Highway 25. It wasn't in the bushes, it wasn't in the grass, he didn't try to hide it, just sitting there along the highway along with a vehicle that State Patrol believes, or they are calling a vehicle of interest in relation to this case. Raya.
Just almost unbelievable, Joe. Thank you so much for your reporting out there. And we do want to clarify what we know right now about the status of Vance Belter's wife. The Mille Lacs County Sheriff confirms that a car was pulled over in Onamia, and Belter's wife was in that car along with other relatives, but not Vance himself. The sheriff says there were people detained from that car, but it's unclear right now if the wife was among them. Now, this is all coming out as we wait for word on when we'll get an update today from authorities and state leaders. Audrey Russo is live at the Emergency Operations Center in Blaine, and she joins us live with what we know right now. Audrey.
Yeah, Raya, just within the last 5 minutes or so, the folks here at the Emergency Operations Center tell us that there are no updates planned for today so far, but they are continuing to continue this search for the suspect. So I want to talk a little bit about what we know so far and what we've been told so far, particularly pertaining to Belter's wife. Now, of course, the Mille Lacs County Sheriff did tell us that the individuals that were detained, and this is a direct quote, were not brought to my jail, and I'm not aware if they are in custody anywhere else. So, of course, that set us off on a search. My photographer and I actually spent the last hour looking through all of the jail rosters in the greater metro area. We have not seen her name listed anywhere, so that means that we have not seen her formally booked anywhere. Also, we did not see Vance Belter's name listed anywhere. So I want to bring up his picture really quickly, just so you can see exactly who we are looking for in this situation. This is Vance Belter. If you could see his picture, he is 6'1", weighs roughly 220 pounds, has brown hair, brown eyes. There's a $50,000 reward for his arrest. He should be considered armed and dangerous if you see him. Now, they also mentioned he was last seen in Minneapolis on Saturday morning wearing a light-colored cowboy hat, a dark long-sleeve shirt, light pants, and carrying a dark bag. Now, obviously, that cowboy hat, maybe some speculation as to whether or not he still has that in his possession, as you just heard Joe saying, that is found on the highway along with a car of interest. So, obviously, there is a lot to go through here for investigators. They, again, tell us that they do not have something planned for today. They don't have an update, but they are continuing to be hopeful that there is one. Actually, the woman with the Emergency Operations Center tells me that they are hopeful for an update today and that they are hopeful that he is found. But again, none is planned for today. Raya?
So much. Thank you, Audrey, for that update. Of course, so many questions still out there. And just within the last half an hour, Senator Amy Klobuchar appeared on NBC's Meet the Press and talked about what made former House Speaker Melissa Hortman so special. Let's listen.
We started out together in politics, moms with young kids, and somehow she was able to balance getting to know every door knock, every house in her district, while raising 2 children, Girl Scout leader. She taught Sunday school, and maybe all that juggling made it easier for her as she worked her way up in the legislature and became this extraordinary Speaker of the House, ushering in everything from free school lunch to working with the governor and other leaders to do some landmark legislation on paid family leave, to this year working with her Republican counterpart when we pretty much had a tied legislature to get the budget done. That's Melissa Hortman, my friend. And when you think about political violence and the statistics of political violence, you've got to realize the people who are behind it and a true public servant that we lost.
Boy, what a legacy. Now, we do want to go back in time just to recap what's happened in the past 36 hours for you that's led up to this massive manhunt. Authorities say a man posing as a police officer shot and killed DFL Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband early Saturday morning in a brazen attack at their Brooklyn Park home. Now, a short time before then, authorities say the same man shot and injured State Senator John Hoffman and his wife at their home in Champlin. State authorities say the suspect posed as a police officer and had lights flashing on his vehicle. And inside that vehicle, which they recovered at one of the scenes, they say they found No Kings flyers and a manifesto that mentioned several DFL lawmakers. No Kings refers to those massive protests that were set to take place yesterday. Now, authorities say officers confronted the suspect at one of the scenes, and after an exchange of gunfire, he fled on foot. That then led to this massive manhunt and searches of his home, both in Green Isle as well as a home in North Minneapolis, which he rented and we've heard from roommates stayed in a couple times a week. And this morning, that search, of course, is still ongoing. We do want you to take a look at your screen. This is another picture of Belter taken yesterday morning in Minneapolis. If you have any information on Belter's whereabouts, you are asked to contact the number on your screen. That phone number is 877-996-6222. We do also want to let you know there's a $50,000 award for information leading to his arrest, and he should be considered armed and dangerous. For now, we do want to check back in with our crew on the ground in between Belle Plaine as well as Green Isle in Sibley County. I believe we're checking in with our reporter, Joe McCoy. Joe, what can you tell us about?
Raya, just a really quick Go ahead. Yep, just a really quick update here, Raya. The Bloomington Bomb Squad just arrived on scene here. They just drove down this road to where the cowboy hat is located, to where the car is located, and to where there's a very large police presence around a property down there. So we obviously don't know why they're here, but I just want to let our viewers know that the Bloomington Bomb Squad has just arrived on scene. Raya.
All right, so clearly things are escalating and that situation is still developing where you are on the ground once again out in Sibley County in between Green Isle as well as Belle Plaine. Joe, thank you for that update. And we'll continue to bring you updates as they become available both on air right here and on KARE 11 Plus. That's our app for your TV. It's completely free to download. But for now, we do want to return you to regularly scheduled programming.